Dear viewers and subscribers, welcome again to our YouTube channel Max the Service. Please subscribe and press the bell icon to receive all notifications regarding any video we are uploading on this channel. Hi guys, in last session we have discussed outline content of NGINX in detail, and now let's start with the introduction. Its first content, what is NGINX? Actually, NGINX is a popular open source web server and reverse proxy server that also functions as a load balancer, HTTP cache, and web accelerator. For its high performance, scalability, and reliability, NGINX is widely used to serve static content, handle dynamic content, and improve the performance and reliability of websites and web applications. So, if I concise this definition, you can use NGINX as a web server, and you can also use the feature of load balancing. If you have microservice architecture, you can balance your load of requests from the client, so that this NGINX can help you to route the coming request to the different services. If let's suppose if one service is having 100 of requests and another service is also available, it's responsibility of NGINX to balance that load. Also, it supports HTTP cache, where you have number of HTTP requests, and it will not remake again the same content of same request. It will cache what the data you are getting from through HTTP request. It will make it fast, and also due to high acceleration, it's a performance web acceleration. It's also provide a CDN content delivery network for fast content delivery. We are loading of your websites, it make very fast. So next content is what is top use case of NGINX. So we will be discussing what are the top use cases. First use case, whenever we need web server, we can consider NGINX as a web server, where we can deploy our application. And the actually web server what actually do, one of the primary use case NGINX is serving as a web server. It efficiently handles static content such as HTML, CSS, and images, delivering it to clients quickly and effectively. It's mean most of the time we deploy static websites on web server, where we have static content, like some contents we have on CDN, some content we have on over on cloud file system. So we can utilize NGINX as a web server for these purposes. In this example, you can see that different clients are communicating with NGINX, and NGINX is further communicating with servers to access the resource. Then we have another top use case of NGINX, which is proxy server. Okay, here you can see that we can use it as a forward proxy and reverse proxy. When we configure NGINX as a forward proxy, it sits between the client and the internet. First request goes to NGINX, where we configure where to forward request. I mean, which website we can allow to be accessed by client. Whenever it comes to our virtual private network, any request landing on the network, it will first hit our proxy server, and our proxy server will check, okay, this client is allowed where it can forward on the internet. Then that request will be forwarded to the internet, and then from internet our servers will be accessible. And another use case is reverse proxy, where first request land on the internet, and then from internet it forwarded to the reverse proxy. Actually, in reverse proxy we can configure which our server should be accessible by the internet. So these configuration also can be done and provided by NGINX, which are very useful and most commonly used. Another major top use case of NGINX is load balancer. How it works, let me explain. If we talk about load balancing, if we configure NGINX as a load balancer, it is very good option to have. Let's suppose we have client 1, 2 and 3. There are 3 clients. You may have more than 3 clients, as well as you can have one client as well, and you have more than one services as well. Here you may have one or more services as well. So whenever you configure NGINX as a load balancer, any request landing on the NGINX, it will decide, okay, this request where to go, either server 1, 2 or 3. Actually it will decide. Okay, if there are already load on this server, okay, because these are server with same services deployed. Let's suppose you have a login service and there are number of users trying to log in, and this service is really have number of request load and very busy, then it's a work of NGINX. It will help us. It will route this second request to the second login service. Okay, this is very great and useful benefit. You don't, a client never see, okay, there is down anything, if you have deployed website and that is down or having lot of time to log in. So this is another benefit of load balancing. Actually load balancing is used mostly with microservice architecture. If we have more than one services deployed on different services, let's suppose one service is deployed on UK and second service is deployed in Pakistan and third service is deployed in USA, then anyone from USA, okay, it will be trying to log in and NGINX will route this request to then this USA server. Okay, it will be more efficient and close. It will decrease the latency. Okay, so this is the benefit overall. We will be discussing load balancer NGINX with some example when we deploy and we deploy our application, and we will be doing all of this with the example. So please be connected, stay tuned, keep watching all the videos on Maxi service. Another very important and top use case of NGINX is SSL TLS termination. SSL secures socket layer and transport layer security. So how we can terminate at the level of proxy server, let me show you the diagram. In this diagram you can simply see that your computer, then we have internet, then you can set NGINX as a reverse proxy, load balancer, whatever. These are the separate benefits just highlighted. And then we have web server. Okay, so NGINX, what actually doing, it is doing another job of encryption and decryption. Let's suppose you don't want to do any encryption and don't want to load this processing on your actual server, then NGINX is here to do all of this. Any request from your computer through internet, it is HTTPS secure and it is encrypted because you have provided public key. If with that public key any client can connect with you if that have your provided public key, and then it is responsibility of NGINX to encrypt and then decrypt and communicate with your web server HTTP, simple hypertext transfer protocol, instead of secure. So once respond from web server HTTP, then again it's encrypt and send it back to your computer. So it's another benefit where you can use this NGINX server for encryption and decryption, and you can configure your security layer here instead of doing all of this on your application server. So another top use case of NGINX is caching, which is most commonly used in any application, web application, enterprise level application, because we use cache for getting most frequent information like validation, or having some information like when user login and get role and responsibility of that user. Also we can validate credential very frequently, and we can get any data already cached instead of getting all those data from the database which is already available in cache. So in this diagram I will show you how cache works with NGINX. Here in diagram you can see that you simply can see here is your computer, okay, and from here you are going to request your server. So if this server is not as a cache, okay, then every request will be going to your actual web server, and definitely when every request will be going to web server, it will set some load, and you may have face some loading problem, performance problem issues. So overcome this issue, we have proxy caching server, which is NGINX. NGINX also provide us the benefit where we can cache our some material, like if you are going to log in and you need to have some data about your roles and responsibility, then you, instead of having request to web server and then your web server having request to your database to get all those data, you can cache all those data and simply you can respond. And it's also see if the same request is again and again and that data is available as a cache, then instead of going to web server, it will responding to client, mean you, very quickly. So it will also improve the performance, and you can add like some kind of active directory, we can have some material here. So all those which can be used as a cache, you can use NGINX as a cache server. Guys, in a nowadays era of microservice level architecture development and designing, the important top use case is API Gateway. NGINX can be used as an API gateway to manage and secure API traffic, so that you can manage any traffic from internet, and also you can also do authentication. It can handle tasks such as request routing. It's mean you can route your request to any service, or you can also block. You can also set rate limit, and rate limiting mean you can set parameter where request cannot be more than given parameter to for specific services. And you can do also authentication and also load balancing for backend API servers. So please don't mess with load balancing with API gateway. Load balancing is a feature of API gateway. So in this diagram, let me show you how API gateway works. In this diagram you can see we have one application or service in Python and another is Go, but we have configured NGINX as a API gateway, okay. So any request from Python or from Go, these are the application, it can be any client. So any request landing on this API gateway, which is NGINX, it will decide, it will also do some kind of authentication. We can also draw here, we can ask this NGINX, please do authentication. If the request is authenticated, then it will be forwarded to any required service, because all the configuration already being set with API gateway. Okay, if any request is coming from this service, it should be routed to this. After, we can also do authentication, within a service. So best ways to have this centralized authentication with the help of this API gateway. Any API gateway you can use. We have also another technology Kong also providing API gateway and features. So this is the like a watchman. If a watchman is outside of your college or university, and that someone is go to that watchman and request, okay, I have to see someone in that library, then this API gateway must know, this watchman must know how I can send this person to where, because this only knows how to send and where to send. Even if there is a unknown person, this API gateway will restrict that person to move it back with some bad parameter or bad gateway, whatever. It will be responding according to configuration. So this is simple mechanism, a very important mechanism in nowadays era of microservice architecture. So this was another important feature of NGINX Web Server API Gateway. Apart from API Gateway, another top use case of NGINX is very important content delivery network. What is it? NGINX is utilized in building content delivery networks to distribute content across multiple servers and geographical location. These CDNs improve content delivery speed by caching content closer to end users. What does it mean? Let me show you in the diagram. In this diagram you can see we have original server, which can be any web server, even though you can also use another NGINX server. But the concept of CDN node is this is actually your NGINX server. Okay, here you can see if you have application running in Saudi Arabia, okay, you are in Saudi Arabia and someone accessing your application, okay, this is Saudi Arabia, and someone accessing your application from Europe like Italy, okay. Let's suppose if someone is going to access his photos, even though if you are on Facebook and opening your profile, definitely when you will be opening your profile, all the contents will be loaded frequently. So do you realize how it becomes very quickly, how the performance can be achieved? You can view quickly your content wherever you are. So actually Facebook is a managed CDN, content delivery network. They have provided another server in the Italy which also have all the shared resources, static contents which are not going to be changed over the time. So you will be able, any member in the Italy will be able to have quickly all those content to be loaded and you can see. So same example goes if you are in England, definitely you have another CDN. It will not go and see, okay, it will ask server or it will be going to this single in Saudi Arabia, okay, let me load all these contents, and it will take some time, maybe 2, 3, 4 seconds, but within a second you will be able to have all those contents at your location. So this is the concept of CDN. Another important use cases for NGINX is proxy, where we can use as a proxy forward proxy and reverse proxy. So I will be again explaining you with diagram. So here you can go. Very major top use cases of NGINX is forward and reverse proxy. What is the different with forward and reverse proxy? You can see here we have same diagram. Within this diagram I will be able to explain forward and reverse proxy, and I believe you will never forget. Remember that when you need forward proxy you must have internet, your proxy server before internet, because you are going to forward your request to the internet. Any client will hit first you. This will be your VPN, virtual private network, okay. Any request coming from client, it will be joining your private network virtually, and this your virtual private network will decide, okay, either this user should be able to access internet or not. Sometime when you are working with your organization and you see that some website you will not be able to open, those are not allowed. Why? Because you are not going providing access to the internet, but some websites, some resources, some features you can access, that is because of this forward proxy. And then after that you can access internet, and your internet, allowed internet, will be doing any request to your original server. This server, your server can be any. Let's suppose you have an organization and you have one server which is accessible through internet, but only those users can access this server for authentication. Definitely this proxy server will identify, it will validate, okay, either you are as organization's member, then it will allow you to have access, because this authentication server you can place anywhere in the internet. Okay, another example of NGINX is reverse proxy, which is most commonly used. Any request coming through the internet, okay, your server will decide, your reverse proxy will decide, should I reverse it or not? Should I allow it to access our original server or not? Mean anyone can have access to internet, but it will be only uh, available this server only which I will allow. So between your original server and internet, if you are going to configure your proxy server, that will be reverse proxy. If it is between internet and your client, then it will be forward proxy. So this is a simple concept you have to remember. Apart from it, there are a lot of benefits, like in microservice architecture. We can use in microservice architecture, NGINX is often employed as a reverse proxy or load balancer to manage communication between microservices. It provides a unified entry point for client requests and routes then to the appropriate microservices. And another main important benefit, security and access control. It also allow us to for the security and access control, such as we can do whitelisting of IP, we can set rate limiting, and the ability of block malicious requests. It help protect web application from common security threats as well. So WebSocket support also provided by NGINX. NGINX provide WebSocket supports, allowing it to handle real-time communication between clients and servers over a single long-lived connection. This is crucial for applications that require bi-directional communication. So WebSocket also supported by NGINX. Please remember. High availability and redundancy, it can be achieved by setting up the multiple instances or as part of cluster to ensure redundancy and fault tolerance. This also makes it comfortable for mission critical application as well. So for application acceleration, NGINX can accelerate application performance by serving as a front-end proxy for application servers, optimizing the delivery of dynamic content and reducing latency. So we can also use it as a which can act as a proxy server for mail protocols like IMAP, POP3 and SMTP, helping distribute the balance mail traffic across backend mail servers. So another last but not least, NGINX is commonly used in conjunction with Docker and container orchestration platform like Kubernetes. It serves as a reverse proxy and load balancer for containerized application, facilitate deployment and scaling. Okay, please subscribe my channel if you have not subscribed yet, and also do like, share in your circle these videos, and also provide your valuable comments. And I hope you will be liking and sharing, so that I will be continuing with rest of the technologies and tools sharing with you. Thanks.